Sharing files and folders through your OneDrive app will be one very important option for you when efficiency is involved. You can share virtually anything in your OneDrive folder with any email address you like. When considering sharing files and folders, keep this in mind. Sharing a file or folder should be used when collaborating with someone. They'll be able to modify the content remotely and have full control unless modification to the permissions are applied. It's also very helpful to share a file or folder if the content is too large to be sent through email. If someone simply needs a copy of a file and that file can be emailed, the person does not need to add or remove content from the file or the folder. Send the files using email. If you share an individual file, only that file will be shared with that person. If you share a folder, the folder and everything inside it will be shared with them. Anything added or removed will be immediately available. Let's take a look at the sharing options. So we'll go directly inside our OneDrive folder, click the icon in the taskbar, and let's say in this scenario we have a brand new case. We're going to need to collaborate and allow collaboration on the case with several parties involved. And if you know for a fact that probably in the future you're going to need to share additional files with someone, etc., instead of simply naming the folder a case and sharing that folder with them, just simply go ahead and maybe if it's a staff member, or maybe if it's a police office, an external agency, someone that's going to need access to the content on a regular basis, simply create a folder and then share that folder with that person, agency, etc. In this case, I'm going to name it Pound Monday. And the folder, let's say this is an agency that I want to share all sorts of additional cases, etc., with them that they'll need access to have whenever I add any new file or folder or video or whatever the case may be. Anytime I put anything in here, they will have immediate access to the content of this folder. I will right click, and in your case you may have some additional options. On this computer, which is Windows 11, if you click show more options, your options may look similar to this, such as share, give access to, etc. It also may have some additional verbiage, etc. So I'm going to right click. You also, with Windows 11, have this short icon to share immediately right there that we can click. Now, if we go inside, by default, anyone with the link can edit is the default sharing option. Please take note that means that currently anyone who receives the link will be allowed to delete, remove, add, etc., anything to this folder, which that is a very huge security risk. So you definitely want to make sure that you more than likely do not do that. However, down below you can see you can set an expiration date for the access to this folder, as well as requiring a password in order to access. So anyone with the link, once again, this gets set up in a way that we will apply some settings. We'll add an email address and a message, send it off to the person. If they receive it and they forward it to someone, or maybe a security breach happens and whatever the case may be, if anyone has access to that link, they will be able to edit, remove, do whatever they want to with the content of this folder. So we'll want to make some changes to that. We want to heighten the security, so we want people in TN District Attorneys with the link to allow editing, and that means that they will need to be a part of our domain in order to be able to access. People with existing access, this simply means maybe someone doesn't know that they can log into the portal in order to access this folder once the folder is shared with them. And maybe they do have access or have been given access, but they need the link again. You can click apply, and that will recreate that identical link so they can be sent that to access. And specific people, this is a nice additional security feature where it's more like a two-factor authentication method in order to get access to this folder, where they'll be sent the email with the link. They'll click the link. Whenever they do that, they'll type their email address. After they do so, they'll be given a time limit that they'll be able to access the folder initially. Then after they do verify by submitting a code, then they'll have full access to the folder from that point forward. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to select specific people. I want to allow them to edit. If you only wanted them to be able to view the content, just uncheck the checkbox, making sure the check mark is not there, and simply type in their email address. This can be any email address that you like to submit. And we're going to type a message. Okay, we will send this off, and I'll show you specifically what the email looks like in that process. Your recipient will receive an email that will state the folder or the file, whatever's been shared with them, and the open button. What they'll want to do is click the open button, which is a link that will take them to Microsoft's sign-in website, and it will need to validate the email recipient. As you see on the screen, click the next button. Then if the recipient already has a Microsoft.com account, they can go ahead and sign in. They'll have immediate access to the folder. If they do not, you can simply click the link to email the code to the email address that was sent to them, and click the sign in button. From there, they'll want to enter that code or type that code from the email that they are sent from Microsoft, then click the sign in button. From there, they can either stay signed in without having to sign in again and not show that pop-up message again. And from there, after they click yes, they'll be taken to a permissions page. They'll simply need to click the accept button. And from there, they'll be taken directly inside the folder that was shared with them, or they'll have access to the web-based document, spreadsheet, etc., whatever the case may be that has been shared with them. And should your recipient, if they have a Microsoft account, or you, say someone shares a file or folder with you and you need to access that, you can always access that shared information by signing into the portal. Click the app launcher, click OneDrive, and click shared. Right within the shared with you tab, everything that is directly shared with you will be listed here as a folder or a file.